Episode 757 Game Night with your host Jamar Hawkins. I got the founder, the man, the Game Academy, Coach Zohn Burden.
Proud to be here, blessed, honored. I'm happy to be available on a Friday night and actually looking forward to being off on a Saturday for once.
You don't never get no intro like that, do you? You don't get no intro like that.
Never have I ever got an intro like that.
We treat you right.
I appreciate it.
We treat you right. I said before.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, just talk about, man, just starting this league, because it's a real great thing what you guys have done. You felt a great big void that we had in this area, and it seems like a lot of people are excited about what's going on.
Yeah, man, we figured out that there was going to be a void in the fall with VHSL counseling high school football. And Game Academy is all about helping kids in the recruiting process. So we felt like this was an opportunity to be able to help, especially that 2021 class who, they wouldn't get an opportunity to play in the fall, and signing day is in February. And, their season won't be until after National Signing Day. So we felt like this was an opportunity for them to still get exposure, still get in front of college coaches, and just get an opportunity to showcase their talent and get chances at a scholarship.
But speaking of college coaches, I know you spent, 14 years as a college coach yourself?
Yes, sir.
So what was it about, being a coach, being in that profession that you learned about the game?
Just professionalism, and learning how to, operate in a professional manner and treat people the right way. Frank Beamer was one of the coaches that I was blessed enough to work under, and it was all about treating people the right way and just, being selfless.
Yeah. And you really brought that back down here, when you came back. You really brought that here. Like I said, we've been able to see some great talent, which we talked about earlier. We see some great talent out here. But what have you noticed from, I won't say the individual kids, but just, the players in the area itself?
I think one of the things that, I get an opportunity to see is they compete. It was a situation where one kid was talking trash to another kid on Twitter, and I saw a picture of them on Instagram hugging. So it's not all about just competing and going against each other all the time. It's kids from the same area who we all want to see each other succeed.
And I know when we first talked, this wasn't on the radar. It was more so with the mentoring through the academics, and is that still a part of the plan?
Yeah, guiding athletes through mentoring education is always going to be our foundation. But that all encompasses recruiting and the recruiting process. You got to have your academics in order. You have to be mentally right, because college is difficult. We want to make sure we are helping kids in every way that they can possibly be helped in order to get recruited.
Right. So I know, because I also just read an article, I saw there was instances where you had kids that couldn't go to school because they didn't have grades. Is that just something you just let me step in and kind of fix that situation?
Yeah, like when you're in college coaching and you got 15, 20 scholarships, you still are recruiting hundreds of kids. And you see so many stories and so many families who are, misguided or uneducated on the recruiting process. So that was always in the back of my head that if I ever stopped coaching in college, that I would try my hardest to reach back out to these families and help them out.
Yeah. So each and every Friday we'll be right here. What week is this for us? Is week 4?
This is week 4, baby.
Week 4. So we got a big matchup tonight. I heard we got 2 unbeaten teams.
We do. We got the Virginia Beach Hurricanes with a lot of players from Ocean Lakes High School on it, and UGK. Don't ask me what that stands for, but a lot of players from Churchland High School on that team. So it's gonna be gonna be a loaded game. A lot of talent out there. It's gonna be excitement all through the night, and it's kicking off at about 8 o'clock.
And we have Virginia Beach Sportsplex, open to the public, correct?
Open to the public. We love the fans. We love the atmosphere. There's nothing better than one of these kids making a play and then the crowd goes crazy.
Yeah. But originally when this was all put out, we were still under the COVID restriction where we couldn't have a lot of people in the stands. Was that ever a fear for you that we wouldn't be able to have fans?
Well, I know you've seen like the NBA and even some of the college football games. We were going to do it and make sure that it was safe for these kids no matter what. Because at the end of the day, they'll play with no fans out there.
Right.
So we're excited and luckily and grateful that the fans are here and the families can get to watch their kids. But we wanted to provide an opportunity and a platform for these kids to be successful.
Right. And I know something as great as the 707 League and what you're doing with Game Academy is impossible for you to do by yourself. Just talking about some of the people that help you out. A little motivation.
You never can do great things on your own. I've learned that. I've realized that throughout my coaching career, and I'm learning it now at Game Academy. We have Deon Glover, who's obviously been through the recruiting process, knows the ins and outs of it, and his own experience with his son, and his son before Tony. So I've known him for a long time. Q-Trail Payton, Mario Phillips, those guys I've built relationships with throughout the whole recruiting process. We got Christy Spriggins, who I recruited her son, who was at Cox. So everyone that is behind the scenes that you may not see all over the social media like you might see me, the work cannot be done without that.
That's a good thing. That's a great thing. How do you think the area has really responded to it?
I don't really know, but I hope that they understand what our purpose and our goal is. Like we got a lot of skilled players out there today, but we also have our big man challenge on Saturday. So Brandon Carr is who I recruited in high school, and he played at ODU and I coached there. So that's another relationship that goes back where he's handling our big man on Saturday. So we didn't forget the big man. So we tried to. We even wanted the kickers to come out. We're trying to get everyone an opportunity to showcase their talents in the fall.
Yeah, but what does that speak to you as a coach when you have your former players and kids that you recruit? You got parents that down there. I think that speaks volumes about you as a coach as well.
I learned this through, Latrell Scott, who's the head coach at Norfolk State, was my position coach in college. And I could not stand him. But on my way here today, I was on the phone with Latrell Scott. That was 20 years ago where I went to VMI and, he was my position coach. But I've always learned that relationships, that's what it's all about. And I've always treated my players that way when I coached. And I always treat my family that way, and just family and relationships is what it's all about.
I say you don't play though, man. I watch you, walk around, and you don't play no games, right?
No, man. We want to provide a platform where the players and the coaches can just show up, play football, and go home, and that's what we try to do. And it's efficient, and we want to keep it that way. It's professional, and we're not gonna back down.
Give me a best Frank Beamer story. Give me a good one.
Well, I always tell people how good of a person he was, and there's no knock on any other coach I've ever coached under, but Frank Beamer, he probably came in my office in the one season I coached under him. He probably came in my office, I would say 100 times, because my kids and my family stayed here in Virginia Beach, and he knew I was in Blacksburg alone, and that man would let me, come recruit this area and stay the night, take my kids to school. He would call, he called me and checked on me like I was his son. Right. And that for me I'm forever indebted to a guy, to Frank Beamer. He's a legend, but he's a great man.
So at that time, how old were you at that time?
30 years old.
30. Wow. So this was your first coaching job?
Well, I started off at Richmond, then I went to ODU. I started off at ODU, I went to Richmond, then I was blessed enough to come back to ODU. Then I went to Virginia Tech in 2015 with Coach Beamer. So
you coached at Richmond with Latrell?
Latrell Scott was the head coach.
Yeah, Latrell's my guy, man. I didn't want to cut you off, but I talk.
It's all good. Yeah, that's not. That's he's good people.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this area. It's just so small. It's like the good people that connect with each other. So like I've always told you, I'm a big supporter of what you do, and I definitely support you guys. And I see you forward. We here for them. You talk about them, you talk about us. Just to let y'all know. So
no, we appreciate it, man. That's what this area is all about, man. We're grateful, we're happy, and we're gonna make sure we take care of home first.
Right. Now, speaking of home, something I did want to touch on was local kids that leave home and go to national schools. Like recently, we've seen a lot of kids end up at IMG in Florida, St. Francis in Baltimore. That wasn't really a thing when we were coming to school. Why do you think it's such a big thing now?
You know what, man? I think it's trending. I think with social media, we didn't have that back in the day, but I think it's a trendy thing. It's hot, and guys just want to do what's the trendy, hot thing, and that's probably not a good job answering that question, but that's just how I feel. I'm sure you probably get a better answer for someone else, but I feel like it's just the trendy thing to do, and kids these days like to do the trending things. And honestly, I think it's unfortunately, there's a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of prospects that are misguided and getting misinformation, in my opinion.
Do you think it's needed?
What's that?
As far as certain players leaving and going to play for big schools?
You mean leaving the area? Well, I've only coached at colleges in the state, so I'm biased. I feel like, but everyone, it's a case by case scenario. I think some kids actually do need to get away and experience these things.
Me personally, I think it comes now. I speak speak from it, I guess as a fan standpoint, I like to see kids that can play at that level play at that level. You know, me personally. So, like a guy like Keandre Lambert, I would have loved to see him play at the IMG. Because I think when you talk about, you know, I don't think he got as much respect as he should have got. The kid dominated this area last year, hands down.
And I played receiver. I love this game.
Right.
So, like, I studied it.
Right.
And the sky's the limit for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know, when you have been in Norfolk, born and raised, and you've been around here your whole life,
yeah.
I mean, I could understand why you want to go see meet new people. I can understand that.
Right, absolutely.
I was mad,
yeah,
but I can understand that.
Yeah. So when you, another thing we hear about, not to get too far on track, but we hear about Virginia Tech not recruiting in-state players. I won't say in-state, I'll say players from the 757. Do you think that was fair assessment?
When did you hear that?
About 3 years. Last 3 or 4 years.
I take that personal because I was there. Because I made it my priority to make sure that we were trying to get as many people, as many prospects in the state as we possibly could, because that was the formula Frank Beamer used. That's what made Virginia Tech successful. You took guys from your own backyard and developed them. And that's what everyone in this area knows from Virginia Tech, how they got good.
Right.
You can anyone on this field or right here, you or me, can name about 20 prospects or 20 kids who came and went to Virginia Tech who were developed, who weren't 5 stars, but ended up playing in the pros and ended up helping Virginia Tech become successful. So that was the formula in my mind. But now I don't know what they're doing. Don't really care. But when I was there, it was a priority.
Absolutely. And I don't really think it was more recruiting. I think it was signing. Because I seen you guys recruit kids, but it's also a thing. We have more kids going out of state now. So now you're competing with Ohio State, who got a Jalen Holmes, Wayne Davis from Lake Taylor. You know, you're recruiting against Clemson, who signed Sheridan. Right. You know, you're recruiting against these programs now. In the past, you was UNC, UVA. You weren't recruiting against those, you know, the national programs. So. I mean, that was the word. That was definitely the word.
I know, because I heard it. And I tried to fight it every day, but I think, again, that, you know, it became trendy, in my opinion.
But what about does it come down to talent as well? Because one thing that I fight with a lot of coaches and players here, it takes a lot to be a Division I player. When you talk about a program like Virginia Tech, even going further to, you know, programs, everybody can't play on that level. Everybody don't have the work ethic, the academics. See, that's another piece of the pie we don't talk about. You have to get into that school. Right? You have to get into a Virginia Tech.
You do.
So you can't have a 2-2, 2-3 and like, I'm going to Virginia Tech.
You can't. So sometimes it may be perceived from the outside looking in that Virginia Tech didn't sign this kid, or this in-state school's not recruiting this kid. Well, you gotta be able to get into school. You gotta have the right SAT, ACT school.
Right.
You know, and you got to be a good kid. You gotta be a right fit. Sometimes it just may not be a good fit for you. You may not want to be in the mountains. You may want to go to the city. So it just depends on what the kids are looking for and if it's a good fit.
Yeah, I got you. Was it? Do you think it was tougher to recruit at ODU, or was it?
You know, it's more challenging because there's so many more prospects that you have to recruit on that level. When I was there, we were FCS, and then the last year we jumped into Conference USA. But when you're FCS, you got less scholarships, but you can partially, you know, you can go half, a quarter. So it's more, you're able to recruit more kids, so your pool is bigger. You know, and you recruit more walk-ons because you're going to save those scholarship money to get those guys money. So you recruit walk-ons, you're recruiting guys who you think could end up being scholarship guys, but on the FBS level, it's straight scholarship. And most of your walk-ons, it's far-fetced for them to get a scholarship. So this is a smaller pool of talent you recruit from.
Have you ever had to really fight for a kid? And I mean fight for, like, as far as getting a head coach to sign off on a kid committing to Tech or any school that you go to?
Yeah, you know, kids with some suspect character issues, maybe, that you have to stand on the table for. I won't mention any names, but yeah, it's been a few, and they all panned out. Because, you know, when you go in there and you're recruiting kids, you're also recruiting their families, and you learn as much about them as you can. You're asking the janitor at the school, you're asking the counselor, the nurse, the teachers, whoever. So it's been a few cases where I stood on the table, and for the most part, most of them, they all panned out. They all made it out and graduated.
Is there kids you guys passed on that you wish you could have got?
Absolutely.
Can you name one?
Daz Newsom.
Daz was going to Tech too. Daz wanted to go to Tech.
Nah, for the record, I mean, If it was me, he would have been. If it was up to me, he would have been playing Virginia Tech.
What do you think the holdup was? If you can comment on it.
I mean, the holdup was that he didn't run a great 40-yard dash time like a year prior to his senior year, so that kind of went against him. He ran a bad 40 time as a junior, and as you asked that question, I was fighting the whole time to get him to erase that 40 time out of the minds of the coaches, and it didn't.
And he's probably gonna be what, day 1, round 3. I heard he's gonna go high in the draft too.
You said it, not me.
It's all good. Coach, I see we got some great action. Like we switching over games. We're about 30 minutes away from our game of the night, so I know you're ready to get back there.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good game.
Where can people find you? They're looking for you on Twitter, Facebook, anything.
You can follow Game Academy at Game Academy Now on Twitter and Instagram. We also got our brand new YouTube page, and on the website, you can find all your videos of tonight's games, photos, and anything else. More information on our 7-on-7 league. At GameAcademyNow.com.
All right, we're back. 757 game night, and we got another special guest. We got Coach Glover. He's a big part of the Game Academy family. Thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So
appreciate it.
I follow you on Twitter, man. I'm always inspired by your tweets, and I love how knowledgeable you are. And I even told you a couple weeks ago about your brother. Your brother passed, my brother passed when I was 18. So that's something that took a while for me to get through. So seeing you going through the same thing, it's like, a man doesn't have to be scared to share that especially as a black man, to share that he's going through something. So I just want to tell you face to face, that was big.
I appreciate that. A lot of people walk up to me. I can be different places, man. And my brother has such an impact on people, sports, and just general life. It affected everybody, and it really affected me in such a way because me and my brother have been together for 50 years. He passed 2 days before his birthday. And I was
older or younger?
My older brother, and it happened right while I was right there in the hospital, spending the night with him. And whatever we did, we was always together, always together. So I have good days and bad days, man. It hurt, Some days I was at the gravesite yesterday, cleaning up flowers and putting new flowers in and stuff like that. Now I'm thinking I got a coach this year coming up, and I can look to the side and I don't see my brother. At first I was gonna step away from it. That's how bad it hurt. But then, I know I got a passion for what I do. I got a passion for the kids, and I know he would have wanted me to keep doing it. He would be like, yo, man, you gotta keep going. So, I'm gonna just stay in it, man.
That's good. So for those that do not know who you are, that don't follow you on Twitter, that don't, who exactly is Coach Glover? Let's give him a bio.
Wow. First, I'm a husband. I'm a husband and a father. Wow. I coach at Princess Anne. I'm an assistant coach. I own a business called Norfolk by Boat with another guy. I don't even know if you know this, but it's the Hampton Roads Ferries downtown. Okay. They paddle wheel boats.
Oh yeah.
That's me. I've been doing that for the last 20 years.
Okay,
I'm a licensed captain. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So my company, our company have the contract with the HRT. So we've been doing that for like the last 20 years. That's been really good to me. And enable me to come out and do some of the things that I do for the kids. On a personal level, where even if we're doing something for the community, that's all. Motivated. That's all.
Right. That ain't about.
Nah, that's out of me. That's all.
Just to let y'all know.
No sponsors, that's all out of pocket.
Set the record straight. First thing people.
Yeah, please don't think that. That's all out of pocket. Anything you see us do, give it to the homeless, to the poor, buying stuff for kids, helping people pay rent, all that kind of stuff. That's all.
Right.
But I'm big on the kids, man. I help anybody. I'm genuine. I just got a love for the people, man. If I don't affect my community in a better way, what does that make me?
Yeah.
So I just try to give it everything I got, man.
Are you originally from Virginia Beach?
Nah, I'm from New York.
You from New York? What part?
Brooklyn.
Nice. Now I can hear it. Now I can hear it.
Brooklyn. Went to Erasmus Hall High School, man. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Me and my brother moved down here together. He went to Union.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
he went to Union, yeah, and I was still in the street. He went to Union, he went to college because we both played football. So he went to Union on a scholarship, a little partial scholarship, and I was in the street. So I would always periodically go down there and, you know what I'm saying, bless him and his boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just always been together like that. But, you know, got myself together, man, and, you know.
So what happened? What was the change for you?
God. You just gotta be honest, man. It was God, man. He said, you're gonna burn out by the time you're 25 if you keep doing what you're doing. He said, you ain't gonna make it past 25. You know what I'm saying? So I got my life together, you know what I'm saying, with the Lord, and that was it, man. I did a switch. It just seemed like everything switched. Everything started falling into place in my life. Business-wise, relationships, you know what I'm saying? Everything just fell into place right after that. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you this. I've never even discussed this with anybody, but since you're talking about the streets, I used to be in the streets.
Yeah.
When I was in college, man, my junior year in Norfolk State, I used to traffic drugs, right? From here to Texas, twice a week. I used to make about $3,000 a week. College student, right? My ex-girlfriend, this is why I would never say anything bad about her. She said, baby, I have a bad feeling. It was like New Year's Eve, but I have a bad feeling about this. Don't go this time. I didn't go. My best friend got locked up. He did 2 years in jail. He did fed time, did 2 years in jail. Nothing ever happened to me. Nothing.
See that?
From that moment forward, I didn't do anything, nigga. Nothing crazy, and I devoted myself to these kids. I have to save these kids because one of them could end up like I was going to.
That's right.
That's right. And you know what? And like I said, I would have been 2 years and I would have never been able to do any of this type of stuff.
See that?
All behind some quick money.
All behind some quick money, man.
Yeah.
That's why I take kids in. That's why, you know what I'm saying? If you check me from back in 2010 and you follow kids, I brought kids into my house to live with me for years, man. Several kids, you know what I'm saying? With my own sons, with my own family and everything, trying to save them, you know what I'm saying? And some of them made it. You know what I'm saying? And some of them didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you see a kid walk up to me and, you know, order, yo, Pop, what's up, man? It was good to see you, man. He got his degree, he got businesses, he's doing everything he need to do. Or, you know what I'm saying? I see another kid named Isaiah, he walk up, yo, Pops, what's up? And they send me birthday gifts and all that kind of stuff. That stuff means something to me. You know what I'm saying? Because that let me know that I really had an impact in their life to change their life. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what, I can tell because I'll see you, I might see you post a tweet and then right after that you'll post a video. Like, no, I'm gonna let y'all see how I feel. Like, y'all can read how I feel, but I'm gonna let you see how I feel. Like I said, I love it, man, because I'm that type of guy. I'm passionate about what I do, and I love to see other people that are passionate about what they do too. So
yeah.
I love it, man. I'm a fan, man.
Oh, man.
Especially
that's a blessing, man.
No problem, man. That's what we gotta do as black men. We gotta support each other. If ain't nobody else gonna support each other, we gotta support each other.
We have to support each other and be genuine with it.
And be genuine.
You know what I'm saying? And loyal to it.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
I'm a loyalty guy, man. I take loyalty over anything.
Right.
Money or that. You know what I'm saying? If I commit to you for something, that's what I'm locked in on.
Right.
I don't need to sign nothing. I'm locked in on that. What we shook on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I am, and I'll break my neck trying to get it done.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just how he made me.
So I know you have a couple of sons yourself. You have one that's already been through the recruiting game. Well, actually, both already been through the recruiting game. What's the biggest thing that you took from that as a parent?
Man, the recruiting process. If you don't have anybody navigating that process for you or with you, you're in trouble. It's that serious. It's that serious. I wasted a lot of money with Aaron. I wasted a lot of money and time, man, and it broke my heart because I had promises from coaches that I rock with now, that I talk to now. Promises, you know what I'm saying? And I'm driving across country you know what I'm saying? No, we gonna offer them, just bring them to the camp, and man, you get there and you know, son wrecked the camp, and you know, all politics, man, nothing. And I said to myself, I said, look, I told my wife, I said, if Tony or Chino decide they want to play football and they want to go through the process, I said, I'm going to do it totally different. You know what I'm saying? Everything I learned with Aaron, I'm going to take it and I'm going to apply it to one of them. You know what I'm saying? And it started with Tony, you know, 7th grade, 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? He started playing. He was like, this is what I want to do, Pops, you know? I said, all right, you know what I mean? If you want to do this, this is what it's going to take. We're going to do this, and this. Are you ready? He was like, yeah. And he committed himself to it. And the more he committed, the more I gave him, the more responsibility I gave him. And when this thing started to take off, everything that I did with Aaron, I didn't do with him. You know what I'm saying? I handled it totally different. Schools would say, hey, we want you to come camp. I said, you're crazy. I ain't coming to camp.
For what?
For what? Listen, I already know that game. It's a joke.
Right.
I know when you're supposed to camp, when the room is split.
Right.
When y'all vote on a kid, y'all say y'all like a kid, and some coaches say they don't like the kid, and y'all split, all right, we need to see him in camp. That's when you go to camp. You either like my son or you don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't really
it's simple.
No gray area in there.
There's nothing you can tell me because I seen y'all offer so many other kids without even seeing them.
Right.
So if you like them, you'll offer them. If not, you don't worry about it.
Right.
So that's how I approached the recruiting situation. And what happened was, when he started getting offered, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna go visit the school. And we flew around country. We went to just about every school there was, several times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you gotta recruit the school back.
Right. Was you, now I know Tony eventually ended up in UNC, but was they always like in the front, like from the start?
Nah, they hadn't even offered Tony. You know what I'm saying? Until Drake got there.
Right.
And he wanted a UNC offer because I think Jaden Curry had one.
Okay.
Before he left and went to IMG, he had like 15 scholarships. He went down there and lost them all. I was like,
man. We were just talking about that.
I was like, yo,
we got to bring that back up.
It's not for everybody.
We were just talking about that, so we're going to have to bring that back up.
It's not for everybody. Please get some sound wise counsel before you start making any moves. It's not for everybody.
Just talking about
and look, what's funny is this. Check this out. The coach Banks, who was the DB coach at the time, he was down there because you remember Chris Shannon went down there also.
Okay.
And he called me, come on coach, you gonna bring your son? Da, 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 da. I said, why would I bring my son? I said, look man, Curry lost all the scholarships he had. Why would I bring him down there to you? My son is thriving right now. I don't need to bring him anywhere. You know what I'm saying? He don't need to be at IMG or, you know what I'm saying, St. Francis or anything like that. He's at a losing program and he's a top recruit. And he worked for that. That wasn't given to him. He worked for that. He went to every elite camp. He did what he had to do at that camp. He played he one-on-ones against some of the best receivers across the country. He dominated. He earned what he had. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have control of the stars. They do. So that's up to them. You understand what I'm saying? So we play an excellent football here. Some of the best in the country, in my opinion. I don't, you know, some people think that 7-5 is like weak. It's not weak. We got talent here.
That's when you talk about like our population.
Come on.
Not even that big.
Yeah, we got 11 concentrated. We got 11 schools in Virginia Beach. That's crazy, high schools. You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, and a lot of people around the country are starting to see that, like, yo, that's a rich area in talent. So for some kids, they need to go. You in trouble, home life ain't right, you probably need to get away. I get that. But some kids, stay your butt here.
We just, like I said, we just talked about that. Me and my intern was talking about it, and me and Coach Zohn was talking about it.
What y'all think? What you think?
I said that I think it's good for some players because they can compete more. Some of the schools is talking about getting in the workout and stuff like that. It's a little bit better situation.
Okay.
See, that was my thing.
You're right about that.
But again, every kid can't make it in there.
You're right about that. You're
he don't like it at all.
Well, for me, I know the podcast game, but the camera can. I watched Wayne Davis was a close friend of mine. I mean, I know it ain't IMG, but Ohio State is a big school coming out of high school. I watched Wayne Davis and I knew it was gonna happen. Some kids get to those big schools and they not cut out for it. Wayne Davis wasn't cut out for a big D1 school. He was a great safety and a great wide receiver. Had the speed, had the jump, height for it, and everything. But when you come out the mud, coming from certain schools, and then you get to those big schools, and now you're looking at people that you actually have to compete against, because now you got people they just picked up that's a deep 5-star on top of the 5-star in front of you. If you don't have that work ethic, sometimes going away can hurt you more than it can help.
And that's why I said maybe getting to that competitive nature when you're in high school, because maybe some kids might need to be pushed. Like I look at Dwight Howard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dwight Howard was playing like doo-doo, but what was it, Charlotte last year, all these places. But when he got with LeBron, I gotta step my game up because I know what's expected of me.
Yes.
And there's a few kids, like you said, that went away to national schools and they haven't been able to hang, but those habits probably showed when they were here, and it just worsened when they got to the national.
Right.
It's just worse when they got to the national.
I know a prime example of that. Nyree, I forgot his last name.
Quarterly.
I went to Lake Tulsa with him, and he ended up in Norfolk State with me. And that's one of the situations where it's good to get out of the state, but sometimes out of the state ain't the best for you. And it backfired on him because he couldn't get out of his North lifestyle in North Carolina. But he got Norfolk State, and he had that reality check like, I can't do this no more. I'm back here where I don't want to be at. So my only way out at this point is playing here, stepping up, sucking it up, and getting out of here. So a lot of people, I think a lot of kids need to stay in though, because the only way they're gonna get out is by facing the first problem they have. And that's, I'm stuck in this same situation I've been in for so many years. I'm not trying to be here. Jay Holmes was from California. A lot of people don't know that. Jay Holmes moved to Virginia from California because he was in so much trouble in California. When he got here, he was like, I don't want to be here neither. So when he got to Ohio State, he went in as a tight end. He won't cut out for tight end play. They said, all right, the only thing we do is move the defense. Got the defense. He was like, all right, now I got to step it up because I don't know nothing about this. His whole play style changed.
Speaking of that, your son started off what, a receiver, right? Tony was what, a receiver?
He, believe it or not, in middle school he was a defensive end.
Gotcha. I remember Q was telling me, he was telling me about that. He switched to cornerback.
Whoa, yeah. We had a conversation. We was talking about me, Q, my man Leland. We was talking about like, yo, what is he gonna play when he gets, you know what I'm saying, in high school? And we literally had a powwow and decided he was gonna play corner. And that's when we started training him at corner. You know what I'm saying? Tony basically been playing corner for 3 years. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. Now he's in college, skipped his senior year. Now, you know, only been there a month and 3 weeks. Played 10 snaps last week. Probably is going to be competing for starting position mid-October, late October. That's how good he's doing down there. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even expect him to play this shit, just to get some burn. But but now he got down there, and the transition is crazy. You said something important. You said something very important. You said that, you know what I'm saying, some kids don't have that work ethic. You know what I mean? When you go transition to college, man, the transition is crazy. You gotta adjust to the speed of the game. You gotta pick up the playbook. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be regimented in time management. A lot of things you have to do that, like you said, some programs here might not be able to provide that structure, and where IMG is able to provide that training, that regiment, that structure.
The public school kids here, they couldn't even work out a couple weeks ago.
Come on,
but you
man.
had kids that been working out all of the year. But you're competing with against these kids for scholarships, college opportunities. So where are you at now?
Yeah, Texas football all year round.
Texas, Florida. I talk to my guys in Florida all the time. They camp. He said, y'all stop having camp. We've having camps all year.
We going.
Tournaments all year.
Yes.
And that's why their kids are prepared and succeed. So, and speaking of your son, you said something real. You said you only been playing for 3 years.
3 years.
I remember when I first started covering Daryl Jones.
Daryl Jones.
Everybody talked about.
Daryl Jones.
That was what Tony's freshman year.
That was his freshman year.
That was the name that everybody talked about.
Daryl Jones. That boy's electric.
That boy, he was nice.
Yes.
He was nice.
Yes.
Yep.
Was highly underrated.
Yep.
He was underrated, but he's a phenomenal receiver. Super fast, excellent ball skills. Definitely passed the eyeball test. Daryl Jones is electric, man. Thinking freshman year, he did a great job at Maryland. You know what I'm saying?
So with Game Academy, what is, because I know you said now you had experience, now you know the game. What do you try to pass back to the parents?
I just try to teach them about the recruiting process. Because that, you know, a lot of parents, they want to, you know, every parent wants their kid to get a scholarship to go to the next level of play. Like you said earlier, when you were talking to Zohn, every kid can't play at that level. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, they want to be Power 5 and go to Clemson, Alabama. You may not be Power 5. You may be Now that you may be Division II, you know what I'm saying? My job is to help you figure out where you want to go and help you get there without somebody jerking you or without you wasting thousands and thousands of dollars at NCSA and all these different people without getting ripped off.
Ooh, NCSA.
Yeah, without getting ripped off by the handlers. You know, you got handlers out here who be ripping off the kids and the parents, and so you gotta, you know what I'm saying? I just want to help parents navigate the whole process. You know what I'm saying? Get the exposure. I love to find the underrated and under recruited kids, the kids that nobody know about. They be like, whoa, where you come from? Yeah, there's a lot of them around here.
Right, absolutely.
A lot of them around here.
Yeah. 'Cause I saw you doing, saw you guys doing like features that you guys doing player features now, like the underrated kids, and the newcomer. I love it. Like, I love it. Just from a media standpoint, I love to see different stuff.
We're gonna start a new. I was hoping we could start it tonight, but we probably start it next week. We're gonna mic the kids up.
That's dope.
We're gonna call it mic'd up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have the GoPro on the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have them talk, do their thing while they playing. Just don't cuss, you know what I'm saying?
Like, hold up,
yeah. Let's keep it PG. You feel me? Let's keep it PG.
Right.
But do your thing. Talk your talk. You know what I mean? And do what you do.
Right.
And we gonna feature them.
Yeah.
Then we gonna do all the kids like that.
That's good stuff.
And try to get as many as we can.
Yeah.
You know, I wish we could have started it when. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause the idea hit me right before we started, and we just didn't have everything in place. We were still trying to put other things in place. But we gonna do that. That's coming. That's gonna be next week.
That's good stuff, man. You think with y'all doing so much different stuff, because I know when I first started, when I was doing different kind of events and different ideas that people hadn't done here, there was some kind of pushback, from the traditional people. Do you think people that see themselves as competitors, you think they feel the same about you guys?
We got a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a lot of bad blood. You know, some people. You got 4 guys, and some guys don't like him. Some guys don't like me. Some guys don't like Zohn. Some guys don't like.
Right, yeah.
But we're a formula, so it's like. So whatever you can't get him to see, okay, I gotta go talk to him and be like, look, coach, come on, man, put the team in the lead, stop playing. And then, all right, Glove, I got you. Or something like that. And we all gotta finagle that, but man, we out here for the kids. So we don't have time to be sitting back worrying about who hate us and who don't like us. We just gotta get out here and provide an opportunity for them. Because, you know what I mean, without this, we had a meeting. It was like, yo, what we gonna do? Boom, Friday Night Lights. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do 7-on-7 underneath the lights every Friday, and get them a chance to perform.
And let's be real,
Who don't want that?
It don't even come down to them liking you. I heard something. I listened to Kanye West interview the other day. He said people don't have to like me because they need me. And it's real, right?
Wow, yeah.
If you want to play football Friday night in the fall, you got to come here.
Yeah.
You just like me all you want to, but you got to be here.
Yeah. Put the pride to the Put the pride to the side. Put the pride to the side. Let's shake hands. Whatever it is, if you want to confront me, that's fine. I'm sure we can talk it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But our goal is, I'm sure we got the same goal too. Our goal is to help them.
Right.
Help them kids, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm advocating right now for us to play. Think about this.
And I see it every day.
Like literally. Like, we got this event in place, you know what I'm saying? And this is great. We're advocating, you know what I'm saying, for the kids, for this state to start fall sports ASAP.
Right.
Because if we don't, we're in trouble.
Because we're like, it's only 4 states is not. I think there's a small number of states are not playing fall anymore.
Yeah, like 96 or 97%, man, where they are playing.
Right.
It's a small percentage that's not playing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What obsessed me about the VHSL is, and they didn't even try. They didn't even say, look, we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna put COVID protocol in place to minimize, you know what I'm saying, spread. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get a protocol in place. We're gonna do, we're gonna make the parents sign waivers because we don't want no liability if somebody say they got COVID and they're gonna try to blame it on the VHSL. So we're gonna make the parents sign waivers. Those who don't want to play, don't play.
Right.
If you're afraid, don't play. Those who want to play, let's play.
Yes, I didn't play. And I kind of feel the same way, not to cut you off, but I kind of feel the same way about the mask. I'm like, I think I don't like mandating anything per se. I think if you want to wear one to protect yourself, that's fine. I don't feel like everyone on earth should have to wear one. Then that's just me. It's not a political thing. I don't even want nobody even take it there. It's not a political thing whatsoever. I know how people are these days. It has nothing to do with politics, nothing who want to vote, none of that. It's just I don't feel like people should have to put on a mask. I don't feel like people have to get a vaccine when that comes around.
Now, come on now.
Now you know I'm turning.
No. This is real talk. Now y'all need to hear. I hope y'all hearing this. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's real. I don't care what they mandate. I ain't taking no vaccine when they come out with it. I'm just not.
Not this quick.
I'm not gonna be the guinea pig. I'm gonna wait the thousands, millions of y'all take it. I'm gonna sit back and watch and see what happens. And I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna say, okay, Lord, is it a go? If you want me to take it, I'll take it. If not, I ain't taking it.
Right,
you know? But nothing should be mandated. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. Sometimes we gotta do stuff to satisfy, you know what I'm saying, the politicians. Right. You know, and that's cool. I'm with that. I'm not kicking against the system, but what I am trying to get them to understand is that you guys are making decisions without even talking to us, the people who are in the sports world. You don't have kids that's playing. You didn't even play. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're just looking at the liability of it. Right. And we need to have a, you know what I'm saying? Right. A group. A board. Get people together and figure out what's the best options.
Right. Have you spoken to anyone from the BHSL?
Not directly.
I mean, you would think they would want to keep the biggest recruit. You would think they would have thought of something to keep the biggest recruit in the state here.
Man, but I've been hearing like from stuff from being told, hey, they told me this, or they told me to say this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's how we knew. I had an inside. Somebody came to me and was like, hey, yo, Glove. You know, my guy that's sitting on the board, they said they ain't gonna have fall sports. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you serious? Mm-hmm. I said, just tell me, is it real? He's like, man, it's real. Mm-hmm. And that's what we decided. I know we look like prophets, but that's what we decided. We said, you know what? Take the one class, man. I said, Tony, take the one class and just go ahead. We're going to go ahead to UNC. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Bump the senior year. We're not going to sit back here and just waste time waiting for them. We're just going to get on the field. We're going to develop. We're going to spend this year and develop, get bigger, faster, stronger. Next year, your clock starts. Yeah. He gets in college. The NCAA freezes the clock. This year for all college players. Yeah. So now I'm thinking, ooh, this is great for college, but bad for high schools. Mm-hmm. Tony could play this year, every game, red shirt next year, and then he got 4 more years. He can play in college for 6 years. Yeah. That's insane. But that stifles the recruiting for high school. Because if a college can hold on to their seniors, right, and everybody else from freshman to junior, clock stop. What do you think that's going? How do you think that's going to really affect the high school recruiting? Mm-hmm. Next year they ain't going to be taking but 10, maybe 12 scholarships.
Honestly, I heard a college coach that I know personally. He said he's not even recruiting for next year.
See?
And I know him personally.
See that?
He told me that.
See that?
A lie.
Come on, man. This stuff is real.
It's very real, and I think we have people. Like, I saw you get into it with somebody on Twitter. I'm like, man, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all not even connected enough to know what you're talking about. You're a suit guy. Like, that's what you're a suit guy. You're just talking what they're saying. Bro, like, come on, bro. I know. Like, I'm not going to get into everything, but I'm like, come on, bro. You don't even know, you're not even connected enough to know what's going on outside of this area. You're just speaking from the point of being someone who goes to the little meetings, but you're not connected enough to know.
He don't have a clue.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? I might not be connected to, like, some people I am. Right. I talk to directly, and then some I'm not. But you better believe I know what's going on.
Yeah. Right. Come on, man. It's just, you know, some people are just more vocal than others.
Yeah.
Some people, so when I seen them, I'm like, he know what he's talking about. Now, I may not say nothing, but I'm like, I'm not going to say, no, you're wrong. But to be fair, to be real, that person has done me like that too.
Are you serious?
Yep. Because they wanted somebody else to share the information and not me.
Wow.
See that? But that's why I said I feel you, and I love where you come from, man. And how you put it out there. See, when someone that's been there, has a first-hand account of it, puts it out there, you can't debate that. You have 2 sons that went through the recruiting process. Horrible experience with one, and then you had a good experience with this one. So you know both sides of the fence.
all too well. And I know that, it's so crazy that I know how the colleges move. I've been in so many schools and talked to so many coaches that I literally know how they move. There is a system that's set up, man. Like, people don't understand. They be like, why school give away 400 scholarships if they only gonna take about 20? It's a reason behind that. It's a reason why they do what they do. You understand what I'm saying? And I know I could explain it to, like, I got a board that I did. It's funny, I'm gonna do a post probably tomorrow on Twitter. I'm gonna probably go live too.
Okay.
I did a board of what a typical college board looks like. I literally got every name on the board. I got the top recruits, I got the class, I got how many scholarships they're giving away. I got the top recruit for offense, the top recruit for defense. I got the number for each position, every position, and the number of scholarships they give them for each position. I drew it all out on the board so I can give everybody a visual of what takes place during the recruiting process. Inside the war room, inside the college room, and what the coaches talk about and how they talk about, and what you were saying about grades. Grades matter. If you number 10 on the board and you feel like you should be the top recruit, and you might be the best player, but guess what? You ain't got the grades.
You know the thing I hate hearing, and I hear this a lot, and especially in this area. I'm under-recruited, I'm underrated. All right, well, what's your GPA? Let's look at that GPA. Let's see exactly, because that's a college coach profession is to find the best players, talk to guys like you, like myself, that know players that they might not even know about. So you come on, bro, you really mean to tell me that you under the radar? I know you don't have any grades.
Let's see your grade. Yeah, when guys argue with me about that, yo, coach, man, they doing me dirty. I'll be like, send me your transcript.
ASAP.
And I never get the transcript. That ends the whole conversation. Send me your transcript.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me see your transcript, man.
Is there a kid? So we talked about Tony, who came basically from nowhere to the #1, recruit defensive back in the country. Do you see any kids that could potentially step into that same kind of time frame?
Yes. I think that Tayon has the ability to do it. I think so. I don't know the work, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes, because it takes a lot behind the scenes to do it. And then you have to go out there and demonstrate it before the right people.
Right.
You got to go out there and do it in front of Gary Hamilton.
Okay.
You got to go out there and do it in front of Adam Freeman. You got to go out there and do it in front of Mike Farrell. And you got to do it against the top receiver from California.
So if you've never heard any of those three names he just mentioned, you might want to research.
Yeah, or Brian Dunn. You got to do it in front of Brian Dunn in 24/7 Sports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to do it against a guy.
Right.
Not just some bird dude that, you got to do it against a guy.
Right.
And it's a lot of work, man. The classroom, the character that goes along with all that kind of stuff, man. Can I say this? Yo, man, people think it's easy to get offers, and it's not easy. All these people throwing out on Twitter, they got offers, half of them are lying.
Right.
It is very hard to get an offer. The evaluation of it is crazy, what they go through. You know what I'm saying? You be looking at some of these kids saying, you got an offer? I literally was sitting, me and my son was at Michigan.
Right.
There's no lie. We sitting there talking to Coach Z. And I was like, yo, man. I was like, congratulations, man. You offered my man, I ain't gonna say his name. And he was like, who? I was like, yeah, didn't you just offer such and such and such? He was like, nah, where is he at? He's in Virginia? I said, yeah, he go to such and such.
Yeah.
I said, he said, Coach, I've been here for like 15 years. I ain't offered that kid. Me and Tony looking at each other like,
wow.
But that goes to show you, you know what I'm saying? People be lying and then they don't know the coaches, and then it gives you a bad name. When the coaches find out you're lying about your offers, it gives you a bad name. Just don't do it, man. Just work for it. Get out there and work for it.
So how's a kid even able to do that as far as saying that they have an offer?
Just do it.
Yeah.
I say just do it. One kid, man, like last year, man, said he had an Oklahoma State offer. Call that jokers, take that down right now.
Oklahoma State recruiting Virginia?
Yeah, take that down right now.
You gotta be special.
Listen, man, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Most schools will not, this is generally how it works.
Yeah.
Most out-of-state schools, we ain't talking about Midwest and across, out West, but most out-of-state schools, surrounding schools, South Carolina, will never be the first to offer a kid in this state. They look for your in-state schools to offer you first. ODU, UVA, Virginia Tech, coast schools, ECU, Maryland. They look for they look for the in-state schools to pull the trigger first. And then they come. If your in-state school ain't offer you, they scratching their head like this.
So why the HBCUs waiting on?
Oh man.
This is what I would never understand.
This is the topic I want to speak on.
Before you get into what you want to say, this is what I do not understand.
Go with it.
If I am a local school, right, local HBCU, what do I have to lose by offering a kid 9th, 10th grade, getting in early in the recruit? What do I have to lose? Because I know when UVA, Virginia Tech, and those schools come, that's it for me. That's it for me. The kid is not thinking about, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but kids are not thinking about an HBCU unless you have a Deion Sanders there. They're not thinking about an HBCU after UVA or UNC or a school like that off.
Come on now.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. The HBCUs should be offering I don't care if he's a 5-star or a no star. The HBCUs should be out there offering, trying to get the talent just like all these other programs are. They should. You don't have nothing to lose.
Bingo.
You have absolutely nothing to lose by offering let's see. No, not one HBCU offered my son. Not one.
So did you contact coaches?
And hold on, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that because Tony's junior year, Coach Scott came through. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Hey, look," he's like, "Coach, I know I ain't officially offer him, but you know he got an offer with you know what I'm saying? He probably ain't gonna come here, but you know he got an offer here." And I was like, "Yo, I appreciate that, Coach." You know what I'm saying? We chopped it up. He a great man. I like him. You understand what I'm saying? But you guys are always complaining about we don't have the best players or the top players, or we don't get a chance, or you know the NFL never gives us a chance, and this, that, and the third, and whatever. Y'all, I hear all the complaints, but you guys don't get out there and fish just like them, and y'all don't have nothing to lose.
You don't work social media like those. It takes Deion to go to Jackson State, for now these coaches getting active. Now they putting out stuff. Why did it take somebody else to get you on your job?
They're scared.
Scared of
what?
Yeah, scared of what?
What you got to lose?
You have nothing. You have absolutely nothing to lose.
That's like me being scared to cover. What do I have to lose? I'm not rivals. I'm not, scout. I'm not those guys.
Nothing, but I am. I've seen it from my own eyes, and I'm not. If you watch it before you know what school I went to in college. I would watch another school come onto the campus, even though they're not supposed to. Literally, walk around. You play football, I got a scholarship for you. On campus, like we are practicing. We are, and as soon as this practice is over, they sitting in the parking lot, shirts on, leaning up against the car. You want a scholarship? We just started our football team up the street again, and after like a couple years, you want one? I got a couple thousand for you. And I don't like making excuses for HBCUs, but sometimes depending on what state you're in, it's hard. Because you got, even though they're not supposed to do it, you got a lot of these big schools that slide right behind you. You already got a kid on your team.
I heard a school like that, Florida State. And it's not recently. I heard like during the Bobby Bowden days, they would take the kids to the FAMU homecomings. They would have kids down for FAMU homecoming. Take them to the homecoming. This is what Tallahassee like, but come on over here to Florida State. To me, it's smart. It's smart to me.
It's real smart. But that's just one of the things that coaches, a lot of HBCU coaches kind of fear, because it's like, you can get the talent in, but if a school up the street offering 2 times the money you giving them at your HBCU, it's kind of hard to keep a kid. And when they take snatching them like that, I'm not giving an excuse, but it do hurt your self-esteem.
I know, man, but I feel like this. The HBCUs have a brand.
Yes, absolutely.
A tremendous brand. And you guys don't use the social media. You don't recruit like you should be recruiting. They really don't.
No, they don't.
And then this is embarrassing. To me, this is just the most embarrassing thing ever. When you get a kid saying he want to go to a JUCO just so he can get on Last Chance U and bypass a school like Norfolk State or Hampton or Bethune-Cookman. You understand what I'm saying? Something wrong. Y'all doing something wrong.
Right.
Y'all got to get on y'all job, man.
Right.
Y'all letting these guys go to JUCOs, man, before y'all bring them into y'all.
That's crazy.
That's no good.
That's crazy.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Now these guys making millions of dollars on the Last Chance U show. You understand what I'm saying? And that could have been Norfolk State.
Right. Right.
Basically, TCC holding football team.
TCC has a football team.
They had one. Remember they used to have one.
But that's all last chance you is, and I try to tell people that it's like going to TCC and having a football team. That's it.
It's kind of like a private school high school. You can start a private high school from anywhere.
I don't get it either.
Because I've seen it. But speaking of high school talent, I know we got a game of the week on right now. We got UGK and the Hurricanes. Looks like we got some Churchton kids on one side, for the most part, Ocean Lakes. Being a beach coach yourself, what do you think Joe Jones has done since he's got to Ocean Lakes?
I think he's done a phenomenal job. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I have to follow in the steps of Coach Scott. Mm-hmm. I think he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a solid team. He's kept a solid program.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy. He's about the kids.
Right.
And I like him. He's involved. He literally is involved with the community, what goes on.
Right.
I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Honestly, I didn't expect him to be in this league. I really did. Seeing him last week, that really shocked me.
I knew he would get it.
That really shocked me because I'm like, older guy, I ain't gonna feel like dealing with that. I ain't think he was gonna feel like. I figured the team would, but I didn't expect to see him personally out there coaching. So
he's that guy, man.
Yeah,
he's that guy. He was gonna put 2 teams in.
For real?
Yeah.
I remember the first conversation I had with him, the first interview I did with him. I covered Kane. What's Kane's last name? He was at ODU. Kane Miskell was it Kane Miskell? But I covered his signing day when he went to ODU. Me and Coach Jones talked for an hour and a half. He was like, man, how's your kids? I seen your kids. I mean, he was just talking, but I enjoyed the conversation.
He's a good guy.
He's like, I'm giving you my cell phone number. He was like, man, call me anytime. Anytime I call him for an interview, he'll do it. It's a lot of coaches like that have really supported what I've done. And that's why when you guys started, I wanted to support you. Like, you know what? At the very least, I can show that, another black man can support what black men are doing. So, you
do a phenomenal job.
So I can tell you, man, I'm like, sure, I'm ready to fight for y'all.
Nah, you do a phenomenal job. I know we get a lot of blowback.
Yeah.
Oh man, people think we in it for the money and all this kind of. And look, let me just say this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There is a business element to this because I've done this for 20 years for free. I don't know if you remember we used to do 757 Sports Academy.
That might have been before. That might have been when I was in college.
You remember that?
I remember
right
that.
here.
Blue chip. When I was in college.
Yeah, Blue Chip Challenge.
I remember that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we did the Blue Chip Challenge. We had all the. That's why. You know what I'm saying? It's like John said earlier, it's about relationships. Mm-hmm. I've been having relationships with Adam Freeman, Mike Farrell, Brian Dump, Gary Hamilton, all part of the ESPN family. I've been having relationships with all these guys for a long time. Mm-hmm. So they don't go to everybody camp. Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Like when people throw random, no, they don't.
Right.
But guess who camps they'll come to?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's because they know we operate with integrity. Mm-hmm. And what people need to understand is there is a business element to all of this. Mm-hmm. We just don't throw the kids out there and say play. Mm-hmm. Security got to be paid for. Mm-hmm. The field got to be paid for. Mm-hmm. The doggone jerseys had to be paid for.
Right.
The referees got to be paid for. So there's an element that must. And people go, y'all ain't in for the money. Y'all raping the kid. Nobody. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. You can't expect all these people. I might be able to come out here for free, but everybody not coming out here for free.
But let's be real. Why is that only a conversation with black business? That's never a conversation with white business. They'll go to 1,000 scout event, and I don't even want to make it about them individually, but you'll go to 1,000 white events ran by white companies, but you get money off the kids?
Nobody asked Rivals that question.
Nobody. I've never.
Nobody barked with ESPN about the Under Armour camps and what they pre-elite camp cost.
Right.
They don't do it.
Right. Never. They never question.
Nobody questioned Andy Hilton.
Right. Never. Not one. They won't bring it up.
Yeah, they pay the fee and they go out there and get what they get.
Bingo.
With us, it's like, yo, I need to hook up. And you know what I'm saying? And then you literally try to help as many kids as you can who you know don't have it. So you're letting him in for free, letting him in for free, you're letting them in for free, you're doing all this stuff. And then you're trying to say, guys, we can't let everybody in for free because we got to cover the cost for the kid. We got to cover the Gatorades that we provide to y'all and the waters that we had to buy individuals, not just putting the bucket underneath the sink and turn it on and y'all can drink it. Now we got to buy it now. You know what I'm saying? The ice and it's covering all the fees, the Zybex Sports to train y'all. There's like thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. We got to cover costs. We're not making anything. And people think that, oh, they're out there. So they're just ripping the kids off. I promise you, I don't need to do this. You know what I'm saying? This is like, Zohn, you don't need to do this. Q, Rio, they don't need to do this. This is literally something to help the community and offset the cost. Gotta offset the cost. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could say what I make, but I ain't gonna do that. But just so people, because they got the wrong idea. It's not like that. It's not like that.
See, me, I'm more like, our country was built on capitalism. So even if it was like that, so what? You guys provide a great product. I've seen those same people go to Rivals Camp, whatever, get a little picture, and not even done by Rivals. So you get your parent might take a picture or whatever, and that's it.
Sign up with NCSA, pay thousands of dollars for their system for a computer, a profile. Thousands of dollars for a profile that you have to operate. You have to operate, not them. They just provide the profile.
There you go.
But you got a coach that can pick up the phone, and I can call who I want to call right now. I could call Coach Warren from Georgia, and he gonna pick up the phone. Or I can call Coach Reed, he gonna pick up the phone. I can call Coach Ronnie, he gonna pick up the phone. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm gonna say, hey Coach, I need you to watch this kid video. You know what I'm saying? I could call Carl Scott, he gonna pick up the phone. And he gonna say, all right Coach, I got you. Send it to me. And he gonna watch the video while we on the phone and then tell me whether they like him or they don't. We ain't going through no recruiting room where the video got to go there and the guy picks out thousands of, he looks at hundreds of films a day. He picks out what he wants. He sends it to all the position coaches. They look at what they want. Then they got to vote on it and take it to the head coach and the rest of the team and all that kind of stuff.
So you really know the game.
You know how they do it. You know how that's how they do it. So your video might not even make it to the position coach, but you got somebody right here with the contacts and the credibility to get you right in front of a coach. You understand what I'm saying? This is this morning. This is no lie.
Head coach.
I'm serious.
I ain't gonna tell you what number I just seen up there.
I got them all in here. I got them all in here. Look. This is this morning talking to the coach. He hit me early in the morning.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That's him texting me. You feel me?
Right.
He hit me. We laughing and talking and joking on the telephone.
I give you the real too.
You understand what I'm saying? He telling me who he taking, who he still taking. Oh, word? You taking a quarterback, a O-lineman, and a JUCO linebacker, and a DN? All right, cool. I got a quarterback for you.
Right.
So guess what I do? I send him. He watched the film. Thanks, coach. I send it to my quality control guy, my OC guy. I'm gonna send it to my offensive coordinator.
Right.
I'm gonna send it to the OC directly. I'm gonna directly send it to him. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But these are conversations I have with coaches for a lot of these guys out here. You ain't got to go to no system. You can't even pay for that, man. If I was to put a course on that, come on.
I seen one of them right there.
I put a course on that, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them guys like, look, Texas A&M coach, we just chopped it up there, just out of, you understand what I'm saying? Just chopping it up, man. This the other day, this Wednesday, we talking. You know what I'm saying? What's up, coach? What's the deal? You know what I'm saying? We talk. These are guys that it's more than just recruiting and coaches. I've developed friendships with these guys. I got these guys, you know what I mean, over the years. And people say, oh, once Tony go to school, ain't nobody gonna talk. What? The ODU coaches, I just talked to him yesterday for like an hour. The head coach, we just talking. Right.
So with Tony kind of set the standard at PA, I guess you could say. But we got, y'all got some couple other guys that's coming up now too. Let's talk about some of the young guys that got coming through the program.
Man, we got Tyshawn Chapman, a top 100 player. Dude is phenomenal. He ain't even scratching the surface of his potential. Not even yet. Unbelievable speed, inline track speed. I mean, he's a 40 time, he's a 4.3 guy. On the laser. That's how fast Tyshawn is.
Okay.
I mean, athletically on the field is just incredible. And when I say he ain't scratching the surface of his talent, I mean and he works, but when he gets that grind, when he's working out, you know what I'm saying, 5 days out of 7, and taking care of his body the other 2 days on recovery, and he gets in a system of that, boy, man. He gonna be. I mean, it'll be like Percy Harvin, man. I'm telling you, he's that awesome.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I mean, that was Tony's work. Him, he was Tony's work because he's so elusive off the line. Tony had no problem with big receivers. It's the jittery, small, shifty ones that, you know what I mean. Yeah. And he kept Tony sharp, man. Kept him sharp. Kept Tony sharp. That's when Tony go to camps and be busting up everybody because he work out with a guy like Lil Doc. And then you got Zykeir Brown, you know what I'm saying, Fat Man. He a tank, he a dog. Right. You know what I mean? Kid is phenomenal, man. He's gonna be a great player. And I know when you talk about Fat Man, people think about K-Tron.
Oh yeah, K-Tron. I know what we think about.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing about it, man, you know, us Norfolk, we Norfolk, like probably with Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn.
How y'all, Brooklyn, you know, like, that's how we are in Norfolk. And I never apologize. Like, when I first started, people were like, oh, you a late teller? No, I'm a Norfolk guy. Don't get it twisted. But I know sports, bro. Like, I still play basketball. You can tell you, I can hoop. Hey, look, but I ain't one of them guys that just talk about playing. I can beat. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. I probably can beat 70-80% of the guys that I write about.
I bet you could.
I probably can. You think I'm lying?
No, you're not. Hey, look, if you want to grab another one, play 2-on-2. Both of us get everybody run for their money.
I know that's right.
I'm telling you. So we not, I-64, we're not that, well, we talk down to athletes. I consider us more athlete-centric. You know what I'm saying? I tell anybody that, and we know what we're talking about. Like, team of young people. But just like you said about work ethic, we talked about this. I ran through probably 50 interns. No lie. In 4 years. You know why? Because I don't accept.
Come on now.
None less.
Come on now.
And I'm trying to get them, again, you can ask him, I'm trying to get them to the level where you only work for me a year or two. I'm trying to get you wavy status. After a year, you gone. Then you're going to the next level.
That's right.
That's standard, that's expectations.
That's right.
So not to get too far, but
no, that's a legit right there.
Yeah, like
let people come in and shadow you like that, man. Turns, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. All young people, man, I love it. And actually I used to have older people, but it became more of a competitive thing. Well, let me learn a little bit from him, and then still.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. When you said that, because you get a lot of people that you run across, and they'll do just that. They'll say, well, I'm a shadow glove and see how he be working this recruiting thing and be trying to hang around you for a little while to see what you do. And one of my things is I never worry about that. I honestly don't, because I know I have a heartbeat for this. I literally have a heartbeat for this. I could do this for free. The connections I've developed are all super genuine. You might be able to steal one phase or one contact or one something, but guess what? You won't sustain throughout time. You understand what I'm saying? You will not sustain throughout time. This is like, they can't take what you do. This is in you.
It's natural.
It's natural.
It's God-driven.
You ain't got no paper in front of you right now, so asking all these interesting questions to drive the conversation.
That's just
It's a gift. You feel me?
Right.
It's a gift. It's a gift. Somebody got to put down a cheat sheet.
All that.
You know what I mean? And how did he come up with
Realistically, really, I only did it because it's the first one. I just want to make sure I hit all the points I want to talk about.
That's legit.
When God gives you that natural ability, it's up to you to harvest it. It's just up to you to harvest it.
Cultivate that gift.
That's all it comes down to. If you really want it enough as you say you want it.
Come on, man.
When you put people on the line, put them on the gun line, you see if they really want it. See if they really want it. Like me, I have the saying, horse goggles. I always say this. Anytime somebody brings some drama to me, whatever, I just respond, horse goggles. Like, what you talking about? I'm like, bro, I have on horse goggles. I cannot see out of the side. I'm not going to see straight ahead.
I got the kid. They killing my peripheral.
That's all I can see. I'm going to see straight ahead. So
tunnel vision.
Behind me to this, it don't matter. surround me with people that's on the same path as me. That's all I need. That's all I want to do.
That's right,
bro.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, it's all love here, bro. I love what you do. If you want people to follow you on Twitter, you can give them your Twitter name.
Hold on, let me look it up. It's crazy. I be on there all the time, but I don't even. I think it's at DH. Hold on.
It gotta be DH Glover.
That's it. That's it. At DH Glover. At DH Glover. That's it. Coach Glover. Y'all can find me on Twitter.
I ain't really mean to keep you away from the game of the night.
Good.
I just enjoying the conversation.
Nah, I'm enjoying. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. Give me a break from walking on the field. My feet be hurting.
Man, you know, I was telling somebody
bad, man.
Turf,
I still got stuff on the turf at my house. I didn't realize it. Like, it was in my shoe, and I took my shoe off, it was all in my house. I got fussed out. I didn't realize that. But another thing people don't realize, doing these events, it takes a lot out of you. It takes a whole lot out of you. You got to talk to people. You got to deal with issues. Like, I saw you when I was coming in, you dealing with issues at the gate. I ain't even, I was like, you got something going on. I'm going to keep going about my business. Dealing with the coaches, the players, they don't
breaking up fights,
all that.
Breaking up fights, the cops looking at you. I'm like, yo, we paying you to do this. Break the fight up, please. They're like, hey, we're just here for presents.
But you know what's funny? As many events as I've done, I've never had issues with a fight. And I've done pretty much all of my events have been unlawful. But I thank God, thank you. I think that speaks on the level of respect that I have in the area.
See that? It
You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like, I think, was you here week before last?
I was.
Yes.
You was here week before last?
No, I wasn't.
Did you hear the loud horn going off in the hallway? The cops wouldn't clear the vestibule, so I had to go down there and clear the vestibule. Like, literally, I blew the horn and was like, look, y'all got to clear it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the whole thing is, they didn't want to do it, but when I cleared the vestibule, there was no blowback. Mm-hmm. There was no, what? Man, we ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. There was, all right, coach, yo, you know what I'm saying?
They know you, they respect you. The same way you said the guys from Rivals and 24/7 respect you, these people here respect you.
Ask any kid about me.
Yeah.
They ask any kid or any parent about me, they'll give you the straight truth.
Right.
You remember when I used to have the Titans? The campus still the Titans?
Yep.
You remember when they used to have the Titans?
So
it was me, Harvin Allen.
I remember the Titans.
D. Shaw McLeish used to play for me when he was a little boy. He went to Tech, the running back at Tech.
So this was when y'all first went AYF. Like
this is when we first.
Okay.
Well, remember we was rec. We was city rec before we went AYF. Mm-hmm. We was city rec. Then we went AYF, and then we stayed AYF for a while.
I think I caught the tail end of the Titans because I came back in about 2013, 2012,
yeah, you caught the tail end.
I caught the tail end of the Titans. But I remember, because I remember y'all used to play right at Campus Stella. And you don't even see that no more. You see, because that's the thing also about black businessmen. We get respect, and people know we don't play. You know it's certain things you cannot do with a black man that runs a business. You know that. You're not even going to try it. You're not even going to try it. But, yeah, man, I don't want to get too much on the, but like I said, it's heavy on the respect, man, loyalty, just like you guys. So, I wonder who won that game. You see who won the game?
I believe the Ocean Lakes team won based off of who's
Ocean Lakes beat them?
Oh, yeah, because probably they
sure.
did interview.
I know Ocean Lakes scored a lot more.
Code, though, man. They got Malik and Rodney over there.
Man, yes. I actually thought, oh yeah, they dancing and everything. They won. Look at them. Yeah, they won. Yeah, Mike. I'm proud of Mike, man. Mm-hmm. Mike, he has grown into a phenomenal OC. He's doing a great job over there.
That's what's up, man. To make sure. Oh, one more thing. Did we touch on this with him? Local prospects going to national school? We talked about that?
Yeah.
Going to IMG? Okay.
No, actually, we did. We did, but it wasn't brought up by us. He brought it up through a conversation that steered him.
Okay, just making sure we're good. All right. Do you think we're going to have... Because I'm going to be honest. What I've heard is that there was going to be football in the spring either. That's what I heard. From a couple people.
That's really what they were gonna do the same thing they did here this past spring. Remember how they kind of dragged it on,
That's
dragged
right.
it on, and then said, "Hey, we're not going to."
Yeah.
They're gonna try to do it again.
They was going to try to do it again.
And that's exactly what I heard.
So we started pushing back with the Let Us Play campaign. You know what I'm saying? Trying to say, look, at least give us 5 or 6 games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get the protocol in place. Get these kids 5 or 6 games so we are not behind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right now we're behind because of the virus, because we missed last year's evaluation, hands-on evaluation. Now we're about to miss it again by not playing. No school is gonna come here to see. If you're not a top 22 next year, no college is coming here to see. You know why? They don't have any film.
Right. That's right. That's crazy.
They ain't gonna have no film this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
man. It
it's,
sucks.
you know,
It sucks.
guys don't know what they're doing. They're really screwing up the process right now.
I got you. Well, I appreciate you, Coach Glover.
You already know what it
No
is.
problem, man.
No,
Great
well,
conversation.
I
I'm
appreciate
sure
you having
people.
me on here.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Anything you need from me, ever, just holler at me.
Man, I appreciate it.
I'm serious. I don't just throw that out there. If you ever need anything from me, just holler at me.
You know why I know you're telling the truth? Because you ain't never said that to me before.
Nah,
And I haven't heard you say that to just anybody.
Nah,
so.
that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? People know I'm genuine, man. So if you need anything from me, anything at all, if I can do it, it's done.
Appreciate it.
That's real talk.
Well, we wrapping out 757 game night. Jamar
Y'all know
Hawkins.
what it is.
Y'all take it easy.
The Hawk, baby.